Yeah. That nickel 9. Yeah. 5-9J. Let me speak my mind up. It's just me keeping it real. Keeping it 100. Let's go.
Hey, yo, what's good with everybody, man? I hope everybody's having a productive day, feeling blessed. Like I always say, it's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. So with that being said, man, this was a trip, right? Somebody shot it to me. I looked at it. And for a long time, I didn't know this particular case or this particular person that was involved took place. I was on a whole different point. Should I say a different viewpoint when it comes to this case. So look, we all know about Bris, right? He was a Sacramento rapper. Gang ties and connections to obviously Lavish D, CML. Now, I don't know his background when it comes to his clique and what he represented. But I know, he went at it with Zillas. I know he went at it with a lot of gang members. So this whole Zillas and Stars, I am very unfamiliar with those politics. I'm very unfamiliar with, how they started, their growth, their expansion, what this war stems from. But we all got caught up in the whole Mozzie beef and Lavish D beef. And they obviously present themselves as gang leaders or gang representatives or the voice of either Zillas and Stars. We all seen it all through social media. That's how they got their views. That's how their gangs got established throughout social media, through the music industry. These guys were a big example how to take street politics and gang wars, publicize it through back and forth diss tracks and making videos. And even though the two main dudes, Mozzie and Lavish D, made millions and went about their lives and both moved out of Sacramento and lived their own lives, there's people in Sacramento that still represent these gangs, Hell Gangs, Underworld, Zilla this, and Stars, this and that. They all are still caught up in this beef. Now, I don't know how long that beef has been escalating. I don't know where it derives from. But I knew about Bris because I watched, for a long time, I used to watch Sacramento Bar Fest. And I used to get into Sacramento Bar Fest when I wanted to go to the studio. I'd watch it, get motivated, then sit there and write some music, then go to the studio. So when I heard about Bris dying, I know his fan base didn't like that. I know there was a lot of people that supported Bris. They thought Bris was the next big thing in California. And even Lavish D says that a lot of these rappers stole Bris' style. I kind of see it with the whole EBK from Stockton, the way they whisper. Bris was the first person I ever seen, and I heard it all over social media. People said Bris was the first one to start that style of rap, and everybody took it the moment he died. Slow B, all these rappers from Stockton, EBK. To each his own. They all made careers. They're all making money. They all became rappers. So the young kid, we all seen the surveillance footage. He gets gunned down. I assumed for a very long time that it had to do with Zillas, Mozzie's clique, because a lot of people out of Mozzie's clique, his little upcoming rappers, they're constantly making songs about dissing Stars, taking credit, making fun of Bris. I've heard a lot of songs where they made fun of Bris. Lavish D addresses in that song Deeper Than Rap how he talks about Bris. So obviously when it comes to Sacramento rappers, people thought, they lost a big and important name. And a lot of people said, man, he was bound to blow up. But he lost his life at a young age. Well, they're identifying the suspect, and the suspect just recently got life as this guy right here. And they identified him as a Norteno from Franklin, 14. And I was like, interesting. I did not know that Bris was beefing with Northerners per se. But you got to remember, Sacramento beef is a hell of a lot different. Because somebody asked me, since now it's came out publicly that a Norteno took out Bris, a Stars, how are the blacks going to respond in prison when it comes to the Nortenos now? And so I got to answer that question. Nothing's going to happen at all. I was in prison for a very long time on the main lines, even on the SNYs. People act the way they act. Nothing changes because you're on different sides of the fence. Politics are politics. The way you conduct politics is always going to be the same. Just some are dirtier than others. But no, Sacramento politics, that's why the NF always frowned upon and hates like Sacramento homies. I'll put it out there publicly. There's some Sacramento people that are homies that try to politic and are cool with the street regimens, are cool with, abiding by policies and believe in the Norteno cause to the utmost fullest. But Sacramento's mentality is totally different. They gangbang on different levels, just like Stockton. And it's a trip. Like I mentioned it before, in the penal system, the NF couldn't stand Sacramento homies. The NF couldn't stand Stockton homies. Their mentalities are totally different. They do get involved with black hip hop culture or the black culture and black politics. Their beef is different. They don't give a damn about red on red crime. They're beefing over a lot of territorial stuff and street beefs. Just like the city of Oakland. Every Norteno I met from Oakland, they don't give a damn about the politics. They don't give a damn about these big homies, who they are, who they used to be, what they are talked about in Norteno history. They represent Oakland. They represent the Bay. It's just, that's how Northern California is divided. You got homies that are just pure Norteño out the game. Then you got some that, man, I'm a northerner, bro, but I'm from here. Like, I'm from here before anything. All that calls, all that stuff you guys put on paper, that don't apply to me. I'm just here in jail, and I represent Northern California, so it makes me a Northern Hispanic, which makes me a northerner. Yeah, I can program with you. I can do some burpees with you. I can write on this stupid piece of paper, but I'm trying to go home, bro. I make money. I do this. The mentality is different in Northern California. It's a trip. And that's why I try to tell you guys, like, the NF, you know, you see a lot of indictments with very small members. These street regiments ain't big like everybody assumes. These regiments don't have like 100, 200, 300 people per regiment working for them. It's just a handful of homies, maybe like 10, 15 homies that are devoted to the cause, that want to idolize these dudes, that want to become these dudes, that want to make all this little chump change money and get indicted for it later. So when you see publicly, oh man, these guys got busted with a couple of pounds. These guys were selling dope before the NF got involved and took it over and said, hey, you guys work for us. Now we're going to make this a regiment. I'll give you some power. I'll give you some power. I'll give you some power and you some power. You guys work together and just structure up this city. And then an indictment comes, sweeps them up. And now the NF got to start all over. Like, anybody else want to volunteer and raise their hands and sell dope for us, please? So it's not as big as you think. It's not like what we hear about the Mexican Mafia, because these dudes are closer to the border. But you're going to see a lot of people that are in the dope game, in these street regiments. Yeah, of course they're moving pounds. Of course they're moving weight. But the moment, it's funny, the moment the NF gets involved and starts shooting kites to these people that are already making money, are already selling dope, already got their hands full, and the NF puts a clamp down like, man, this is my tierra, this is my territory, this is NF territory. You would get deemed if you don't work for me. You would get deemed for selling on my dirt. Yeah, then they have to get involved, and then there goes their fall. That's their downfall. The NF is always going to be the downfall of their own street regiments, because that's what IGI, that's what ISU, that's what the FBI, the DA, the Alphabet Boys, that's what they're waiting on. Like, what the NF going to take over next? Oh, they took over this place in Salinas, they take over this place in Santa Rosa, this place over here, let's go monitor them. Now let's put up surveillance, man, let's do a bust. And then that's the downfall of Norteños. Norteños get indicted, they lose everything, they lose all their money, they lose their freedom, so be it. But for a very long time, NF can't get control of Sacramento. And the NF definitely can't get control of Stockton like they tried. Trust me, they've tried. It's just not going to work out like that. It's because Norteños from these different neighborhoods, they just gangbang different. They gangbang totally different. So for whatever reason, from what I'm hearing on the streets, that I guess Bris was responsible for a death, a video of Norteño from Diamonds, or a Norteño named Diamond. It was something along those lines. I can't remember the message. But they were blaming Bris for gunning down a Norteño, and he had been dissing Norteños on the streets. But this dude got paid. That's what they're saying. He got paid some money to gun down Bris. Don't know by what. That's what they're saying. I never read no paperwork. I didn't listen to the court proceedings. None of that. This is just from a couple of people from Sacramento that reached out to me saying that this Norteño did it for some money. Just a little bit of money. Not even big money. Not even a big bag. He got sentenced to life in prison. Now, if that's the case, you know that whole concept they talk about? You know, money don't buy you happiness. I mean, if you have money, you may not be happy with your life and circumstances, but if your bills are paid and all that, then I'm pretty sure you're content with life. But sometimes, putting a bag on somebody's head and you being ambitious and grimy and greedy and taking it, saying, I can dome them and get away with it for what, a couple of bands? That's what your life was worth? And you get sentenced to the penal system for a murder charge and you're never coming home again. Now you're going to be scrambling for soups. That's all the bag you're going to get. Soups, some coffee, some honey buns, some chips, maybe a phone call here and there, maybe a cell phone every once in a while. You're going to have to bleed your family. So that's really not your money. It's your family's money that you're bleeding, that you're living off of. It's very ugly. It's very disappointing because just look at the history just in the last couple of months. Lil TYS becomes a popular rapper, gets gunned down. Slow B becomes a popular rapper. Jalisco becomes a big rapper, gets gunned down. I mean, that whole situation with Julio Fulio, big rapper, beefing with another rapper, gets gunned down. And not to mention that the whole Mozzie and Lavish D beef, of course, they've been beefing like crazy and everybody got involved with these two cliques. Imagine these two guys posting all this gang-related music and are living pretty luxury on these millions, but their cliques are gunning each other down. So imagine how many people have been gunned down. So I wasn't on the main line when the Zillas popped up and the Stars popped up, but I was on the SNY when I seen them. I met a lot of Zillas and I met a lot of Stars. They still go at it, even on the SNY. The hood politics doesn't become abandoned when you walk through them gates. But when it comes to if this Norteno runs active on the main line, the blacks ain't really gonna have nothing to say because that's a Sacramento thing. You know, blacks come together as one because how I was told, that's still a black man. But they're divided in their own cars. So unless on the main line, there's a bunch of stars on the main line that are like 20, 30 deep, and this Norteno lands there and they want to make an issue about it. But with this peace treaty, you got North and South willing to come together and go to war with the blacks during the racial riots. So are the stars willing to push that line? No. Are the blacks going to push that line? There's too many blacks and too many black different cars where, I don't know that dude. That ain't my homie. He ain't from my clique. That's a Sacramento problem. So no, this kid's not going to be a target per se. And he's not going to get deemed because he didn't kill another Norteno. And in accordance to street politics, you know, like I said, they're accusing Bris of gunning down some other Norteno. So all that Norteno got to say is like, I didn't do it for a bag. I did it because I retaliated for a homie. So the NF's going to look at it like, okay, so he protected a homie. He got vengeance for a homie. Proud of him. We got to protect this man. But even if it's conclusive that, hey, man, this Norteno did it for some money and gunned down a black dude, the NF's just going to frown upon it like, and they're going to justify it as, hey, man, we lost a homie on the streets because you guys get involved with black politics like we've been saying not to. So that's your own stupidity. That's your own fault. That's your own ignorance. You could have been an asset to the cause. You could have been an asset to our street regiment. You could have been doing all this for your Norteno neighborhood, which I know Frank Lone is not really liked by the NF, just like 14 Ave is not really liked by the NF. The NF doesn't like Sacramento like that at all. They just can't get control of it. You know, there's somebody out there on the streets trying to do it as we speak, but it's not going to work out like that. Homies from Sacramento, they just thugged out, bro. I'm just going to say that publicly. They're just thugged out. They don't care about prison politics. So this Norteno really doesn't have nothing coming. The NF's not going to go out their way and deem one of their own over black politics and how blacks feel that they gunned down a Sacramento rapper who happened to be black. That is the least of their concerns. Nothing will be brought up. Nobody's really going to care, bro. The Norteños might look at him and be like, oh, man, you gunned down Bris, bro. What's up? You know, gunning down a rapper makes you a little bit more popular in prison. Hate to say it. When you got like high profile cases like that, you're like a little prison celebrity. So I hope that prison celebrity and that little money that he made, that he blew on the streets for whatever he did or whatever he used it for, you know, I hope it's worth it to him, because I can tell you right now, it's not worth it to a lot of people. But that's what you hear in these rap lyrics. Hey, man, I put a body on this guy. I put a body on this guy. Hey, man, I put a bag on his head. Some dude put a bag on my head. Cash it in. You know, people are playing with dangerous lyrics now. Every rapper that comes up or every rapper that's blew up, 99% of their catalog is about gunning people, running up and loading it and busting it. And we're just starting to see a lot more rappers just in the last couple of years die every day. Even if they're not even living their lifestyle, even if they're not living by their lyrics, just because you became a popular rapper, I think that's a justifiable enough reason for anybody to want to gun you down anyways, because that's how they're going to justify it. And they're going to make up some illogical excuse that he did this or he said that, he dissed me in this song, he dissed me. Well, you listen to his music, but he dissed me in this song, so I got to gun him down for it. Just in the past 2 years alone, we've seen how dangerous it is to become a gangster rapper. But we know the music industry is filled with gangster rappers. And we know the music industry loves to capitalize and make money off this gangster rap stuff. These dudes that live real street lives, that can tell a street life story in a lyric, get millions of streams, get the company a bag, give them some hotel suites, get them some hookers, get them some strippers, get them some music videos, get them some promotion, and feed into these rappers' egos. Even if it's just a social media platform that you pay to promote your music, you're feeding to these rapper egos when they get more followers, more views, more streams. So the first thing they do is go into the booth and rap about another gang-related homicide or a gang-related lyric or a diss track. There's a lot of people on these streets that do pack weapons, that will look for the opportunity to gun you down and shoot you down for whatever it is that you say or for whatever it is that you do. And yet, all over social media, of course, we're going to talk about gang-related homicides and gang-related killings over diss tracks, what rapper is beefing with what rapper diss what rapper. We feed into that media dialogue for the views, for the clout, for, just pointing out, or even if it's just reactions. But then we're also following through with, well, this rapper just got killed, and this rapper just got killed. Or this rapper went over here and got gunned down. This rapper over here shot one of his enemies, and now he's going to prison for 20 to 30 years. Just like that rapper, what's his name, from Bakersfield. I want to say his name's from Bakersfield. Dude caught like 20-something years for robberies because everything he rapped about in his lyrics, he was doing on the streets. Robbing people, shooting people, gunning people down, beefing with enemies. There's some rappers out here that really live by their lyrics, and they display it all in their lyrics. And then, karma comes back around, bro. Like, you're going to give that energy to the world. That energy is going to come back. And now he's doing 20-something years for what? For $1 million, for 1 million views on YouTube? That doesn't even pay you that much? For a couple of platforms to post your music and say, hey, you're the next best thing coming out of your city. And you're doing 20 to 30 to life? I guess the standard and the expectation for today's generation is if you're going to be a rapper, you have to be a gunner. If you're going to be a rapper, you have to beef with somebody. If you're going to be a rapper, you need to diss somebody. If you're going to be a rapper, you need to shoot somebody and then go rap about it. Because that's the only way people are going to listen to you and tune into you and respect you for your content, for your craft, is if you're really living by your lyrics. But a lot of these lyrics are coming back to these rappers in California. I'm just talking about California. It's happening all across the United States. People became so comfortable with putting guns in their music videos, talking about dead homies, the whole King Von, Lil Durk stuff. They went back and forth. King Von had bodies. A lot of big rappers are setting the examples for upcoming rappers or these kids that want to be rappers because they think it's cool that violence is the universal language when it comes to the rap career now. Gangbanging is the universal language when it comes to rap careers for now. So we're going to influence a lot of new generations to come to say, if you're going to be a rapper, be a gangbanger and be a murderer. That's what today's generation of rap really looks like. So no, nothing's going to happen to this Norteno. Like I said, if anything, he's going to get prison celebrity status. And you'd be surprised, man. I've seen a lot of people, like X-Rated was a high-profile rapper. That dude touched the yard, man, before he even got out of the R&R. Everybody was like, X-Rated's here, X-Rated's here. What's up, fool? The hole, man. I've been slapping. Everybody on the yard walking up to him, and I slapped the hole, bro. I've been slapping the hole forever. Macaframa, homie. And the slammer, bro. Once you become a prison celebrity, people recognize you for that, and that gets to a lot of people's egos. That's the most this dude's going to get. But are the blacks going to push the politics on Northerners? No, because blacks politic in their own way, so to speak. They don't really care about Mexican politics, but it's always been a thing that blacks won't cross with Mexicans because of Mexican politics, and now even more so because how, the North and South are coming together. I'm not saying that the blacks are afraid, because when the blacks really want to go at it with the Mexicans or the whites or whoever, they band together. They put all that Crip blood, Zilla stars, all that to the side, and they stand as one nation. I've seen it plenty of times. But is this a big enough reason for the North to go at it with the blacks? I highly doubt it. I could be wrong, but this is just my personal opinion because somebody wanted me to talk about it. Just think it's ridiculous. We're losing a lot of great talent, a lot of good music. Even if it's gang-related music, it's still good music. Everybody got different ears, so to speak. All because everybody has to be the tough guy in order to be in front of a camera. Has to be the tough guy in order to get streams. Men and women only respect you if you're the tough guy, if you're the bad guy, if you're the Al Pacino, Scarface. If you're the most gang-related killer in your music, that's what gets respected more than a dude making an R&B song about ladies. That's the God honest truth. I see so many women post TikTok videos and it be about the whole music behind their video, some gang related music, some gang related rappers, some Southsiders, some Norteno, some black from Stockton. EBK, J-Bo's Boogeyman went viral all over TikTok. Women were just singing that song, trying to be sexy, doing this to you in the camera with their fingers. It just takes one song to influence a mass audience just to listen to gang-related music, to continue to glorify the gang-related music, and only respect people that are about that life. And it sucks, though, because people like myself, regular civilians, we don't get that kind of love and recognition and respect, because if I really ain't out there in the streets rocking J's, rocking a mirror, rocking gold chains, and with a pistol in my waistline, we don't get that same respect as other people do. And it's weird how people's perceptions really are nowadays. So I'm glad I answered that man's question. Do I think anything's going to happen to that Norteño? Probably not. If anything, he'll just get a tongue lashing like, why'd you get involved with black politics? Stuff like that. So with that being said, like I always say, it's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. Peace.